Market's looking for direction, but I'm going to show you one investment that is about to outperform Bitcoin. In fact, it's about to smash Bitcoin. And let me tell you something else. Seed investors in this asset are about to make millions. And maybe you can be a seed investor in this asset. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So while everyone's looking for direction, we are going to become seed investors in one of the best performing assets of all time. Let's do this. Let's do this. Did you guys really put a wager on how late the show was going to start today? Seriously. I mean, I told you guys I'm starting on time. Yesterday was the first day I never started on time, and that was only because we had real technical problems. We couldn't even get onto the internet. But here we are. We started on time. So you ever bet against me? Well, there you go. You'll learn your lesson. Alrighty, welcome back, guys, to the most boring market in the whole world. But even in this boring market, I'm going to teach you guys how you can become seed investors. And seed investors in this asset are going to make millions, and it's going to outperform Bitcoin. That's for sure. So if you want to know what that asset is, or if you, in fact, guess what that asset is, tell me what you think in the comments, what the asset is that is going to, or is outperforming Bitcoin, and is going to continue to outperform Bitcoin. Hi, Ran, can you increase your audio slightly? Should I increase it again? Okay, let me bring the microphone closer to my mouth. How's that? Is that better? Better? Louder? There we go. How's that? Audio level good? Audio level good. Okay, if it's bad, just say bad. If it's good, just say good. People are saying the USD is the outperforming asset. All right, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. Join the most loyal community in the world. That's not what we say, it's what YouTube say. 96% of all of you are subscribers, so we've got the highest subscriber base in crypto. If you want to join the family, just subscribe, hit the bell notification. That will tell you when we are coming to you guys live. Also, do me a favor, like this, because again, I'm shadow banned. I cannot believe how many times this show gets shadow banned. It kills me. Later on today, we're going to be looking at the BYBIT competition. Right now, I am ahead of Kyle. I'm not ahead of Sheldon. Sheldon, get this. Sheldon says he's sick, but he's not sick. He's at home trading. He hasn't been at work for a couple of days. He says he's got flu. He went and got a COVID test. In the meanwhile, he sends me a screenshot. In fact, let me see if I can find the screenshot for you guys. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Rune. Rune is a good one. By the way, speaking of Rune, we are going to be at NearCon. Some people are saying Near, not Rune. We're going to be at NearCon in Lisbon in September. So I think it's September the 11th. It's NearCon. It's the Near conference. We're going to be there. I'm trying to see if I can find Sheldon's screenshot. He's coming. He's actually doing very well. Very well. I think he's like 70th, eh? He's 70th or something. I can't find the screenshot. Anyway, I'm here. I'm also sick, but I'm here and I'm bringing you crypto love and crypto wisdom. So I'm going to do my part. You're going to do your part. You're going to smash the subscribe button. You're going to smash the like button. I'm going to bring you crypto love and crypto wisdom. And I'm going to finish the show and get home and get to bed. I'm also just reminding you all that it's my birthday on Saturday. I'm expecting something for my birthday, Kyle. James, I'm also expecting something for my birthday. Yeah. All right, let's see how I'm doing in the competition just before we start the show. So I am currently 6% up, 5.97% up. I'm going to show you my trades. We're going to be talking about Tornado Cash. We're going to be talking about DogeChain. DogeChain tokens are launching today. We're going to be talking about one asset where you guys can become seed investors. And if you do become seed investors, you can make millions of dollars, and it's definitely outperforming Bitcoin. That's 100% for sure. We've got so much to talk about. So let's do this. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. Show on Ran's birthday. Not a chance. Unless the market crashes, then I'll come and do a show on my birthday. All right. Let's start off with Bitcoin. So what we're seeing now is we're seeing Bitcoin looking for direction. In fact, we're seeing the whole market looking for direction. The interesting thing is if you go down to the 1 hour chart and you look at this level, here we go again, and you look at this level of how many times Bitcoin has started to test that low. You got a test year 1, 2. You can kind of say you got a test year on the wick 3, 4. So it keeps testing that line. And now we're kind of in a position where we're going to get one of two moves. So either we're going to go break upwards. If we break upwards, we're probably looking for about 25,300 on the way up, or we're going to go down. And if we go down, this is a very dangerous level. This 19,000, 18,900 is quite a dangerous level. I'm not happy. I wouldn't be too happy if we broke that level, because then we're going all the way down to lows. And if we break those lows, then as Kyle Dupes will tell you, 12,000 is inevitable. At the same time, we've got the dollar index, this Dixie chart, again, touching that 109, just tickling that 109 again. I've got friends here going, what is it? What is the asset that's going to outperform Bitcoin where I can be a seed investor? I mean, God, watch the show. Friends want insider trading tips. We can't do that. So you got the Dixie. A lot of people are calling for a double top here. I don't think it's going to be a double top. I think if anything, it's going to break straight through this 109, which is the highs, the recent highs. And remember, that's the chart that everybody's watching now. And then you got the NASDAQ. Let's quickly look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ basically doing absolutely nothing. Like seriously doing absolutely nothing. Here it is. It's looking for direction. Zero, literally zero, and the market opens in about 8 minutes. In about 8 minutes, we'll look at it again. But right now, the Nasdaq's saying, "Look, we're not ready to choose direction. We're actually going to wait for Friday because Friday is a massive day. Friday we got Jackson Hole. We got this symposium at Jackson Hole, which we'll talk about later today, and we got the PCE numbers, which is a personal consumer expenditure, which is a measure of inflation that the Fed use to decide whether inflation is really going up or down. They don't use CPI because CPI has elements that you can manipulate, like food prices and oil prices, which can be manipulated. But the PCE, you can't really manipulate. So that's why the Fed look at the PCE. And so we're at a point now where the market is at this like nowhere land and kind of needs to decide, is this a bear market rally? And if it is a bear market rally, there's good data to show that it is a bear market rally. And that is because, according to Goldman Sachs, this rally was the third biggest hedge fund short covering event in the last decade. When I say short covering event, what they mean is they mean short squeeze. Okay, so it could be that this whole thing was actually a short squeeze. And if it is, then we may just follow Korea, because what these guys from Citibank say is that they said that the Korean stock market leads the NASDAQ by about 4 months. And they've gone back and they've taken the Korean chart and they've overlaid it against the NASDAQ chart. Sorry, the SPX chart, the S&P 500. And what they're saying is that the Korean stock market leads us by 4 months. And so we're probably following the same pattern here. I said to you before, I'm not a big fan of these fractals because you can kind of take a fractal and you can make a fractal really gear up or feel like any you can spin any story using a fractal. So not something that I look at. What I am looking at, though, is I'm looking at fear and greed. And you can see that people are scared. People are really scared now. And generally, when people are scared, I like to buy. So that's why in the competition, in the trading competition, what I've done is I'm right now sitting nowhere, but I'm actually fully invested now. So I've got 2 long positions in the competition. So there they are. They are my 2 long positions in the competition. My first one is I've got a rune long. My entry price is about where we are now, 21850. And I've got a super long on NIA. And the reason why I've chosen NIA is because I think that if the market has a bounce, NIA is the one that could bounce the hardest, because remember, NeoCon is coming up in 2 weeks. So that's where I am right now when it comes to competition. You'll know what happens. If the market tanks, then I'm going to get wrecked. If the market bounces, I'm going to have a very good bounce. Yeah, as I said, I'm watching fear and greed. People are fearful. When people are fearful, I'm getting greedy, which is why I decided to go long while the market's looking for its direction. You know who's not fearful is the Ethereum holders. So if you look at the fear and greed in the crypto market is 25, but not with Ethereum holders. Ethereum holders are like, I mean, they like not scared. Well, they're less fearful than other investors. And it's kind of like all Ethereum holders. And we're weeks away from the merge. We're talking 3, maybe 4 weeks away from the merge. And a lot of people are buying ETH. In fact, something that was pretty weird for me is looking at the Ethereum miners who are accumulating ETH in their wallets ahead of the merge. Now, the reason why I think this is weird is because remember that what's happening here is that the miners are actually going to theoretically have to switch off their mining machines and become validators if they want to become validators, or anybody can become a validator. And these guys are actually now starting to accumulate Ethereum ahead of the merge. I wonder why. Do they want more of the Ethereum proof of work tokens if they do split the chain? So I don't know. There is something going on here. Got to keep our eyes on this chart over here. Another interesting thing which I read was I looked at the CoinShares report. Where they published, CoinShares is the company that takes institutional investments. They publish a weekly report, and I saw one thing here. As I said, if you look at Bitcoin, there's been a mild negative sentiment, and it saw a 3rd week of outflows totaling $15 million. But Ethereum is actually very different. Ethereum has seen 9 weeks of inflows totaling $162 million. So you got to be watching. You got to be watching Ethereum. People are starting to accumulate Ethereum again ahead of the merge. Now, if you haven't seen my video on Kitco news, James, let's put there's 3 parts. There's a 3-part video that I did on Kitco News. Let me show you. Go and watch it. I did an amazing 3-part interview on Kitco. Let me show you a picture of it just so you know which one it is, with a friend of mine. Here we go. Let me show you the 3-part interview. So first part is whether we've hit the bottom. The second part is around tornado cash sanctions. We're going to talk about that now. And then the biggest news and the hottest altcoin. So go and check it out. James will leave a description. We'll leave links in the description. Yeah, so that's James. Just put some links there. Yeah, 100%. People are saying I'm a horrendous trader. Well, let's see. Let's see at the end. It's he who laughs last, laughs the loudest. By the way, if you want to join the competition, if you think you're a better trader than I am, you should join as soon as possible. The reason why I think you should join as soon as possible is there are 8 days and 23 hours and 32 minutes left of the competition. You could still win. And by the way, if you do join us, because we already have 2,455 contestants, when we get to 2,500, the prize money actually increases. So I'll show you. So when we get to 2,500, the prize money increases for all of us. So we're very, very, very close. If you've been sitting on the sidelines wondering whether or not you should enter, well, I think you should enter. I think you should enter. But look, for me, it's very simple. I'm waiting for the market to get direction. If the direction is up, I'm well geared into the up. If the direction is down, I'm going to quickly smash myself out with stop losses. People say you look sick. I am quite sick today, but I'm here and I bring you crypto love and crypto wisdom. That's what I'm doing. All right, let's look at what else is happening. So market looking for direction, and that's ahead of this Jackson Hole Symposium, which is happening on Friday. Friday is actually a much bigger day than we thought because you got PCE coming out on Friday morning. And then straight after that, you got Powell speaking at the opening of this Jackson Hole Symposium. So the Fed is forecasting that there will be no increase in inflation. So let's see what happens. They're forecasting no increase in inflation. You've then got the symposium at Jackson Hole. Interestingly enough, what this is it's a symposium. It's like a conference, which is sponsored by the Fed. There are about 120 participants that go to Jackson Hole, and they speak about broad economic issues. So they talk about like serious economic issues. And what did they speak about in the past? Changing market structures and implications for monetary policy, central bank balance sheets and financial stability, the cause of inflation. I can tell you what the cause of inflation is. You don't have to go all the way back to 1984. But this at 10 a.m. EST, Jerome Powell will be speaking. 10 or 10:30 EST, Jerome Powell will be speaking. And everyone's waiting for what PCE inflation will be and what Jerome Powell will be saying at the Jackson Hole Symposium. That's what the market's waiting for at the moment. And a lot of people are calling this short. So a lot of people are going into the short. If you look at the hedge funds and you look at the position that the hedge funds are going into Jackson Hole, they're going into Jackson Hole net short. So if you look at the leveraged contracts, so if you look at the derivative contracts, what you're seeing is that they're positioning themselves bearish. So the black line shows you the net long versus short, and you can see that people are going in net short. And those are the people that are betting that Powell will be negative in this whole thing. But a lot of people are saying that, hold on, Powell's not going to be negative or hawkish at Jackson Hole because there's no economic data to make him hawkish. Inflation has peaked and the economy is rapidly slowing, and the Fed have already done 225 basis points worth of hikes in 4 months, which is the most aggressive that they've been for a long time. And what what Goldman say is that Goldman sees Powell tightening by 50 basis points in September. But that goes against the consensus, which is now 54%, 54% in terms of in favor of a 75 basis point rate hike. Now, what we will see on Friday is that this chart will move, because what PCE does is either we're going to get a bounce and we're going to get a more dovish Fed, or we're going to get a much more hawkish Fed. And that all depends on what PCE happens. So PCE is going to be a big thing. So Friday, we're not going to have a banter, because Friday we're going to just do a live crossover at 10 a.m. EST to Jackson Hole. We'll have the economic data at that point, and then we'll just listen to Powell, and then we'll watch the market together, and we'll either cry together or we'll be happy together, or we'll take Xanax together. Okay, what else? It looks like the housing market's starting to come down. If you're in the States, it looks like the housing market's starting to come down. So new home sales dropped way below expectations. Houses are now sitting on the market. So you can see there's a lot of houses on the market. And you can see that every single time we've had a high supply of houses on the market, there's this little gray box next to it. See this little gray box? So this little gray box actually means recession. So every time that the monthly supply of new houses in the United States spikes, we get a recession. So there's another indicator that the Fed is actually in a recession, but they don't actually want to admit that they're in a recession. Crazy, crazy people. Some good news, some really good news. Someone credible and strong has spoken out against the Tornado Cash, the sanctioning of Tornado Cash. And this is really big news. So I always worried that I didn't know who would stick up for Tornado Cash. Because remember, Tornado Cash is a decentralized protocol. And a decentralized protocol can't speak for itself. You can't, it's like saying, I'm going to sue the internet. And if the internet wants to fight back, well, who's going to fight back? And so I was kind of worried because I think Tornado Cash represents everybody's right to privacy. But because Tornado Cash is a decentralized protocol, I never knew who would fight on behalf of Tornado Cash against OFAC and the sanctions. And now we actually have a hero who's fighting for us. His name is Tom Emmen, and he is, by his own biography, he's a husband, father, hockey fan, and a congressman for Minnesota 6th District. He wrote a letter to Janet Yellen, and I think this letter is very, very, very well worded. He speaks about the right to privacy, and he says, look, I'm also concerned about what people are using Tornado Cash for, and specifically around the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. But he says, hold on, this is unprecedented. We can't have OFAC imposing sanctions on an entity which is not a person or someone who can actually fight back. And he says this whole thing is ludicrous and is really going above what OPEC is supposed to be doing and really breaking precedent where OPEC is supposed to be doing. And what he says to Janet Yellen at the end, if you read the whole thing, he says, I share OFAC's concerns regarding the illicit use of Tornado Cash smart contracts and appreciate OFAC's continued work to protect the security, foreign policy, and economy of the US. The growing adoption of decentralized technology will raise a new challenge for OFAC. Nonetheless, technology is neutral and the expectation of privacy is normal. Thank you for your response to my question. Please do not hesitate to contact me. So we do have a congressman standing up for us, and this could actually turn into something because, I mean, we need someone to stand up for Tornado Cash. And not only for Tornado Cash, it's more about, the ability of OFAC to sanction decentralized protocols. We can't have OFAC at a whim just deciding OFAC and then sanctioning a decentralized protocol. It starts with this and it gets much worse. And a lot of you are saying, I can see a lot of you are saying, but that's happening in the United States and you're not in the United States. It doesn't matter that it's happening in the United States because the US law has a way of has its way of like going outside of the US. Also, let's just look at the stats and what the stats are saying here. So this is what the stats are saying here. US traders dominate crypto exchange traffic. Look at the numbers in terms of the biggest crypto exchange traffic in the world comes from the US by about 2.5 times. After that, it's South Korea. After that, it's Russia. After that, it's Turkey. After that, it's Japan, UK, India, Ukraine. So this is the number of visitors and the percentage of all traffic to crypto exchanges in the last 90 days. Quite an interesting thing, and shows you how important the US is when it comes to this. 2.5 times the size of any other. Sheldon's not in hospital. Oh, he's getting a drip. Okay, he's getting a drip. People are saying there's a click in our mics. We know there's a click. We just don't know where it's coming from. We've changed mics. We've changed soundboards. We've changed computers. We've changed cables. What haven't we changed yet? We've changed the internet provider. We've changed everything. If anyone knows why it's going down, let me know. Let me know. I'm keen to hear any suggestions at this point. All right, let's talk about DogeChain. So the long-awaited DogeChain token launch is happening today. For those of you who don't know what DogeChain is a chain, it's a blockchain, which is built on Matic and allows you to use your Dogecoin as gas fees. That's pretty much, I think, a very simple summary of that. DogeChain holders, the launch is today. There's a whole breakdown as to what you need to do to get your tokens and the whole tokenomics. It seems like a pretty fair launch. There's no VCs or no investors in this launch, which is actually quite like, there's no VCs. There's pretty much an ecosystem fund, network operators, airdrop. The airdrop is for people, they call them early sheeps. And the early sheeps and loyalists are people that either have used DogeChain and wrapped their Dogecoin on the chain, or are going to do it and are going to do it. And so they say, look, there'll be airdrops. Let me find this for you. So 9% of supply will be distributed as intermittent airdrops following right after the early sheeps airdrop during a period of 48 months. That means 0.1875% of the supply will be distributed to these holders on a monthly basis, 15% upfront, and the rest linearly over 12 months. So if the best way to get this is to actually use the chain, otherwise buy it on the open market. But I wouldn't buy it on the open market today because there's going to be hype. And again, what is it? It's just a chain that allows you to pay your gas in Dogecoin. That's what it is. And they call it DogeChain. And that's pretty much what it is. It's built on Matic, Polygon. And let's see if it does become a meme coin chain where all these Dogecoin holders actually start building. Well, then there might be something more to it. Time will tell. Time has yet to tell. All right, what else? Binance. Remember I said to you that we're going to talk about a whole lot of investments that are beating Bitcoin, and one specific investment that's beating Bitcoin. And if you're an early stage seed investor in this investment, you're going to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I'll show you what that investment is. But first, I want to show you, someone says static charge isolate. What's that? It's very clear. We've isolated each thing. We're going to get involved after the show. We're going to try and resolve it again. This time I'm getting involved. All right. So remember I said to you that the seed investors in this will make millions. Let's look at some investments that have been really, really good and see if we can find a common narrative. One of the investments that has been really, really, really good is Binance. And what they're doing is they're reducing fees. I mean, they've got a 0 fees on ETH trading, 0 fees on Bitcoin trading, 0 fees to all USD stablecoin pairs, 0 fees for 4 BUSD pairs. So Binance is really, like CZ says, they're in a race to 0 fee trading on their own. So that's one thing that Binance are doing. Also, they announced a partnership with MasterCard to let people use ETH and crypto to make purchases at over 90 million MasterCard merchants worldwide. And I saw this quote in Michael Meerbach, and I think he's the CEO of MasterCard. And I saw this quote on his LinkedIn. It says, "We can unlock the full potential of blockchain technology when we make it easier to access and easier to use. One way to do that is by bringing people to crypto every day, by bringing crypto to everyday purchases. To make that a reality, we're working with Binance to let people use their crypto to make purchases at 90 million plus stores that accept MasterCard. Launching this work in Argentina and plans to expand from there." So they're launching it there, and they plan to expand it from there. What could the blockchain industry look like in 5 years? Well, we are seeing hints of that. And if you look at what Binance token is doing against Bitcoin, this is one token that even relative to Bitcoin has done well. And I think if we go back, let's just go back and just look at it on a weekly and just see for holders of Binance relative to Bitcoin, how's that for a performance? How's that for a performance? Let's just see how well Binance has performed relative to Bitcoin. About 133,513% better if you would have just held BNB instead of holding Bitcoin. Remember, this is not against the US dollar, it's against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is 133,000% better than Bitcoin if you would have held Binance. So there's one investment that is killing Bitcoin. And if you were a seed investor, you would have made millions, right? Let me show you some more investments that if you were a seed investor, and you could be a seed investor, you would have made millions. One of them is GMX. Now, we've been talking about GMX for a while. We've told you to buy GMX a lot of times, but specifically in the 30s, we told you guys to buy GMX. Now at 41.51, this is a derivatives exchange, a decentralized derivatives exchange. And I said to you that narrative of decentralized derivatives was really, really, really starting to take over. And GMX is, as I said to you before, if you look at the fees that GMX is generating fees bigger than most other protocols. So if you look at GMX, you say the daily fees over the last 7 days, $344,000. That puts it in 5th position after Ethereum, Uniswap, Binance Smart Chain, Aave, and then it's GMX, which is crazy. Just think about how big this is. And they're doing a whole lot of partnerships. One of the partnerships is with DOPEX, which is another one that I actually want to talk to you about. So again, this is another one where if you made a seed investment in GMX, you would have outperformed Bitcoin. I'll show you some more that if you made a seed investment, you'd outperform Bitcoin. One of them is DOPEX. So let's look at DOPEX. This is one that, again, we've been telling you to buy. It's the whole derivatives and options narrative. The low was about $111. And then this was about on the 20th of June. And the recent high was about $600, which means that you would have 5x your money. And even if you're just holding it today, you would have 4x your money if you just bought DOPEX. And what DOPEX have recently done is they've recently launched a thing called Atlantic Swaps. Let me just find Atlantic Swaps for you guys. Okay, so they've launched a thing called Atlantic Swaps, and what that allows you to do is it allows you to bet on the volatility of the market. So on whether or not there will be volatility. So that's what these swaps are about. And again, DOPEX, another one that's really outperformed Bitcoin. But the problem with DOPEX and BNB and GMX is that you couldn't have been a seed investor. You couldn't have been a seed investor. That's the problem, because you're not a VC and you couldn't have been a seed investor. Now, what we want is we want to be seed investors in a token that can outperform Bitcoin, or in an asset that can outperform Bitcoin. And the question is that how do you become a seed investor in that asset? So I think I found the asset where you guys can be seed investors and the asset performs better than Bitcoin. And you don't have to be a VC to be a seed investor. In fact, anyone can be a seed investor. And that asset is, of course, Avocados. It's true. If you were a seed investor in Avocados, your investment would have outperformed Bitcoin. So if you look at the blue line is inflation. The white line is Bitcoin. And if you look at Avocados, it looks like Avocados are a much better inflation hedge than Bitcoin. Now, the good thing about that is that anyone can be a seed investor. You just go to the supermarket, eat your avocado, and you automatically become a seed investor. It's true. Guys, we said no more clickbait. I'm presenting the facts. This is the facts. You could have all been seed investors. You can all be seed investors. And it has outperformed Bitcoin, and it is outperforming Bitcoin. And you can take that to the bank. Come on boring days like this, on boring days like this, we've got to bring some fun into crypto. Come on, guys. Give me a like if you like that. Come on, thumbs up if you like that. Thumbs up if you like that. Listen, we've got to make content for you each and every day. Each and every day, come up with new narratives. And so today we found a narrative, seed investment, where anyone can make money in an asset that can outperform Bitcoin every single day. There we go. All right, let's go. There is some other news that we should actually talk about. So this is quite big. So Three Arrows Capital, the Singapore High Court granted a request from Three Arrows Capital liquidator, which would allow the liquidator to look into the assets of the firm. So now the shit begins. Now they're going to start digging through the assets of the firm and what's left, and they'll make a decision. Some other news. The Cardano hard fork, or Cardano fork, which will then implement the Vasil hard fork, is about 50% underway. So that's great. So we've got about 50% underway for the Vasil hard fork. I saw this. Curve is one of the tokens that I'm accumulating quite aggressively. And I saw that one of the Convex developers picked up $1 million worth of Curve yesterday. So definitely worth looking at. In fact, is it enough worth looking at that I want to take a position out of my... First of all, let's see, does BYBIT even have Curve on the derivative section? Let's have a look here. Is CRV even an option? If it is, I may actually move some of my portfolio into Curve. Let's have a look here. Do they have CRV? Yes, there is. Okay, so I mean, I would keep a very close eye on Curve. I'm expecting news there any day now, really any day now. And it is around the stablecoin. I saw this. If you thought that FTX was being a good Samaritan by bailing out the BlockFis and all that, I mean, think again. What is surfacing now is that FTX can actually buy BlockFi for $15 million if certain conditions are met. So if they can't repay the loan, you can actually buy it for $15 million. So don't think that SBX is a good Samaritan. He's doing this because of his business acumen. Then I saw this. We keep talking about cross-chain narrative, and one of the protocols that we invested in is Rune, ThorChain. And the DEX that is actually built on Rune or ThorChain is called ThorSwap. Now, I'm also an investor in ThorSwap, and full disclosure, I bought it on the market. I didn't buy it, and I bought it much higher than the price is now. But what you can do is you can swap your native Bitcoin into, you can swap across chains natively on this. So these are two narratives or one of the narratives that I'm really watching, and two plays in the narrative. One is ThorChain, and of course, the other one's Stargate. And I don't know if you guys have been watching Stargate, but Stargate, since it listed on Binance, has absolutely exploded. So you could have bought this token for 30 cents about 2 weeks ago. Let's go back 30 days. You could have bought this token, look at that, for 33 cents. That's the listing down Binance. That's the Binance recovery. And then bang, look at where we are now. 82 cents for Stargate. So again, that narrative that we spoke about playing out exactly as we have been predicting. Some other good news for those of you who've been hearing about the gas pipeline to Germany. Well, you can see that Germany has more gas per day now than they've ever had. So maybe this Germany will free scenario is being a little bit overplayed. Kathy Woods bought 300,000 NVIDIA shares last week. She sold them for a loss 5 days later. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know what's going on with Kathy Wood. I actually don't know what's going on with Kathy Wood. Crazy stuff. I also read this, which is amazing. So Kiyang Ju, who's the founder of CryptoQuant, he says that stablecoin is leading the institutional crypto adoption. So it's not actually Bitcoin, but it's actually institutions buying and using stablecoins, and that's quite big if you think about it. You know, stablecoins are this boring thing that actually doesn't do anything, but that actually could bring the next bunch of institutions into crypto. All right, people asking what's wrong with Sheldon. Sheldon's got a cold or a flu, and he went to get a drip of vitamin C, and I don't know what else. He offered me the same thing. I don't need that. I'm gonna just keep drinking water. Yeah, BitBoy is suing. You all saw this. So BitBoy is suing Atozi, who's another YouTuber. And I mean, I'm kind of like torn with this because I think that, you know, for YouTubers to attack other YouTubers, or for anyone to attack anyone and think that there's no consequences, it's actually like, you can't just be defaming people and think that there's not going to be any consequences if you're damaging their business and damaging their reputation. You can't do that. But I think in this case, I listened to the video, and I don't think it was factually defaming or causing losses to Bitcoin. I think he went after the wrong person, to be honest. I mean, I do respect him for protecting his reputation and his credibility, but I don't think he chose the right person. And I think he's got a very fickle case in this thing. Regardless, this happened. Atozi wrote a 5 tweet storm about how BitBoy suing him. Someone tagged Kobe, and Kobe said, I'll send $100,000 or something when I'm at my computer later. And he actually did it. Sent the guy $100,000. Bro, Carl, write a tweet storm. Give him a sub story about how you're not doing well in the trading competition. Come on, Carl, do something. Yeah. But I mean, respect to BitBoy. I think he's come a long way. You know, the guy was accepting money for tweets and for mentions. And that, for me, is like crazy. And he did it. But I think he's turned the corner. And I mean, he's fighting back hard to get his reputation intact. So, I don't know. Respect. That's all I can say. What else? What else is there? Not much. So, I think no information on Mt. Gox release. No information yet on Mt. Gox release. I think what we said we're going to do today is we said that if you have signed up to Bitget using one of our referral links, we're going to 10x your portfolio. But because I haven't done it for so many days, I'm going to 10x 2 portfolios. So I'm going to 10x portfolio number 41, and I'm going to 10x portfolio number 70. Because I haven't done it for so long. Now let's see how much money these guys have got in their account. Let's just have a look here. Here we go. 10x. $473 the guy's got. So he's got $4,730. Remember, if you want to use an exchange that has, you can get up to $8,000 of referral fees or deposit fees. You can also trade in the US, and they've got a big selection of alts, and I think it's very, very, very good. It's a very good exchange. I've been trading on it quite a bit, actually. Oh, this other guy's got $100, so also 10x, so he gets $1,000. So sign up. I'm going to be doing more giveaways like that tomorrow. What else? All right, you want me to do find some BYBIT accounts? Okay, cool. I'll find some BYBIT accounts for you. How's that? Here we go. So as you can see, these are the people who joined the competition as at the 24th of August. This is a list of accounts that joined the competition as at the 24th of August. There should be about 2,000 people. So I'm going to go to account number 1,000. There we go, 1,000. Here we go. I'm going to take the next 9. So the next 9 of you, and I'm going to give you guys $250 each to trade in the trading competition. And remember that if you make profit, you can keep the profit. But if you make a loss, you don't lose anything. But you got to give me back the money. So I'm going to do 11 accounts. Okay. So these are the accounts. If that is your UID number, well, then you're getting $250 into your account. Who wants a full Bitcoin? Who wants a full Bitcoin? Well, so 125 people have signed up for CoinStats. Remember that if 200 people sign up before the end of August, which means it's like 4 days left. If 200 people sign up for CoinStats and there's a referral link below, then one of you will win a Bitcoin, which means you have a 1 in 200 chance of winning $25,000 or $23,000 or whatever the Bitcoin price is. I would do it. So probably the highest chances you're going to get, and you're getting an amazing product, an amazing, amazing, amazing product, which allows you to put all your accounts under one roof. So all your exchanges, someone says CoinStats link not working. Can we check the CoinStats link, please, James? If it's not working, we'll fire Jimmy. So it's very quick. The fix is quick. All right, lastly, let's quickly see how I'm doing in the competition. 5% up. Long near rune. I'm going to go long. I'm actually going to go long curve as well. Yeah, I'm going to go long curve as well. And then I'm just going to hope for the bounce. And if I do, then I'm going to take over Sheldon. Sheldon's long phantom. Sheldon's long phantom. All right, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be more news tomorrow. Remember, Friday, there's no banter because Friday we're going to cross over live to Jackson Hole. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun. Trade well, my friends.